Welcome back, my art friends. Let's paint a Starry Night inspired picture. You're going to need the rainbow colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, white, and black. The brushes you're going to need are a medium brush and a couple of round brushes. So a flat brush and a couple of round brushes. Don't forget to have your rag and a cup of water handy. If you have a 2-inch chip brush, it might be helpful also. Let's get started. With my round brush and some blue paint, I'm going to lay out my first curved line. So I'm going to start about halfway up my canvas. I'm going to curve up and around into a partial swirl. Get that line ready, and then from there I'm just going to kind of add an extra little bump to finish off my horizon of my blue paint. I'm going to add a big old circle up at the top, and then everything above that line I'm going to paint blue. Going back in with that medium brush again, let's add a little bit more detail. I'm going to kind of start from this edge and add a little swirl right in the middle of that big open space. Now I don't have to wipe my brush off before I go in with my green paint. And what I'm going to do with that green paint is I'm going to lay out my swirls. So I'm going to lay out my second swirl right here to the right, just a little curly cue, and pull it all the way back into the blue. Everything above that, I'm going to paint in green. With a clean brush, I'm going to make a red line. You don't have to make a thick line, just a short red line across my canvas, about 2 inches from the bottom of the canvas. And this line is going to be the end of our colors. Now, everything above that line, I'm going to paint in yellow. Let's go ahead and paint our big circle up top in yellow as well. With blue and white on my brush, I'm going to go in and lay out those iconic brush strokes that Van Gogh had. So small little brush strokes, inch and a half, even a little bit shorter. They're going to follow around the curves of my blue. Right now I'm just working with the blue, but as we move down into the painting, we'll add some other colors in. So just draw small brush strokes left and right, back and forth around the curves. Let's go ahead and put a couple of little spaces for stars in so that we can also make curves around those. So I just added 3 circles. If you want to add more, feel free. But then small little brush strokes around those, and that will kind of blend into our curved lines below. So if you want to have more than 3 stars, totally fine. You're the artist. got a little bit too light, feel free to go in with some of your regular blue, the dark blue, and just add a little bit of more tone to it. I don't think you can go wrong with having a little bit more dark or a little bit more light. It's really whatever your liking is. With both green and blue on my brush, I'm going to start to blend these two areas. Again, using those little small brush strokes right between the green and the blue, pulling some of that blue down into the green and some of that green up into the blue. I'm going to go around all of my edges, and then I'm going to start just adding green and white together inside of those swirls. And as you probably guessed it, now I'm going to add in some yellow to blend my green into my yellow. Now, don't mind that little red spot. That was an accidental line. I shouldn't have had red there, but I'm going to leave it and see how it works. I'm just going to go back and forth with my yellow into my green, pulling some yellow up into the green and some green down into my yellow. Filling out that space with even some white to add in those brush strokes. As we're working our way down, we're going to add in some orange, and that orange can pop up a little bit into one of those swirls if you need it to. But again, just some brush strokes back and forth, left to right with orange and then into the red, even adding some white. Fill out the rest of this picture with the brush strokes. Now where we left these three little spots at the beginning, I'm going to use my finger. If you've ever painted with me before, you know I love finger painting. Just a small white dot. If you want to make yours yellow, that's fine too. Right in the center of those three stars. And then I'm going to use the smallest brush I have and add a little bit of yellow just around the stars, going in a circular motion. Again, small little brush strokes going all the way around. Even kind of radiating out from the center, pulling those colors out. And I'm going to do that with all three of those stars. again, with my small brush, I'm going to put some red on it, and I'm going to create a crescent moon. And this is what it's going to look like. It's going to be half circle, and that half circle will be just a little bit thicker in the center and a little bit more narrow towards the ends. And I'm going to take my red paint, just kind of blend it into that yellow a little bit, adding some yellow to really bring those colors together, adding a little bit of white in there, using small little brush strokes so that it looks like something Van Gogh would have worked on. Adding some white to the edge of this, as well as around the circle and really in that open space of yellow as well. I really want that reddish orange color that I've created to stand out, so that white is going to help bring that color out. So feel free to add as much white as you want to really kind of make that orange stand out. Blend in my moon to my sky, I'm going to add small little brush strokes of blue paint around the edge of my yellow. And then I'll bring some of that yellow out and pull it into the sky as well. This is how we're going to kind of connect the moon and our sky. All right, we're gonna let this dry. When we come back, we're gonna add in our forest. With a dry-ish background, we're gonna go in with our medium flat brush and just kind of paint the open space in black. Using one of my medium flat brushes, I'm going to make some straight lines, holding the paintbrush perpendicular to get a really nice straight skinny line. And these are going to be my trees. So we want to make sure that they're not all the exact same height, but there's also not a pattern of tall, short, tall, short. Remember how I told you if you had a 2-inch chip brush, it might help? Well, by adding just the smallest amount of paint to the tip of these, and you can use a flat brush as well, you're just gonna very gently pull those black lines up so that there's a more jagged, rough edge to our horizon line. This will give the illusion of trees in the background. With a smaller flat brush, this one's a 1/4 inch, I'm going to start adding in my pine tree arms. So if you look, I'm starting by doing an angle going up towards the moon. This is an angle going up, and Slowly, I'm just tapping these small little lines going straight. Now you have to think a pine tree, it starts from the top being rather narrow and it comes down almost into a triangle shape. And so you really want to just take your brush and gently tap as you move down the tree all the way till you get to your horizon line. So again, at the top, I'm going to start by tapping just up a little bit at an angle. These are the new little sprouts that are still kind of happy and tall before they get weighted down as you go down the tree. This is going to take a while, so I'm going to jump into speed motion and knock out these trees. I always love to see what type of little additions you add into your painting. And for this one, my daughter Bella wanted me to add some birds. So with my itty bitty small brush and some black paint, I'm gonna make my little, lowercase m flattened birds. These are just one small bump to another bump, super simple. You can bring them all the way up to the sky, all the way up to the moon. What else can you think about adding to your picture? Now don't forget, when you're done, you have to use a color that's going to show up well, and you're going to have to sign your art. Don't forget, the only way I get to see what you're painting is if you post it on our Facebook page, Painting with a Purpose. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Painting with a Purpose. And remember, as always, stay kind, stay creative, and stay safe. Thanks for joining me today. Have a great day, friends. Bye.